Well, hello there. What's going on, everybody? I did not come up with a whole show title or anything that I wanted to do, so I figured we'd do like maybe a Q&A on maybe fasting or health or something. Whatever you guys want to talk about. And I was looking for my regular intro. I can't find it. I'll have to ask. I'll have to find out what Junie did with that. Maybe I deleted it somehow. Who knows? Anyways, hello. And also, I'm broadcasting this both on my Zen Alchemist channel and this one here. See, and also that's I didn't know I could do that. Now I know I can do that. I think we'll see. We'll see how it works. So welcome. I don't know how the commenting will show up. What's up, Griff? I don't know if the comments will show up for both over here, so I'm talking simultaneously. Because some people on that channel are not on this one, and some people on this channel don't know I have it. But I don't. We'll see how that works. Griff, are you on here through Zen Atman or Zen Alchemist? Because that I don't know. But it is on both. It should be on both right now. What up, Skull? What are you doing? We are. Yes, I'm quite large. I didn't realize. Sometimes I don't realize how big-headed I am. No, I think I got taller though. I was gonna take measurements of myself today. I was gonna see what my weight was and what my height was. I think I'm taller than I used to be, which I don't think is supposed to happen. But maybe I am. Maybe we'll do that. We'll turn this into, maybe not today, but pretty soon. I'll get out all my. I'll clean up a little bit in here, get some space, and then get out some of my toys and things. You say toys, like fun stuff like these things, like they're called voodoo bands. Check out these things. We can play with this too. I can't really do that in here. I don't really have room to do it. We got all sorts of cool stuff over here. That's only some of my things. We can play with them. You're on Alchemist. Nice. Okay. Good. Well, make sure you are on both, at least. Because some people get notifications on that one. Some people get notifications on what? That one. On Alchemist. So they both show up here. Cool. Skull's on the original ones in Atman, where that's where I've been doing things. What's up, Muffin? What are you doing? The Irish coffee, we're sticking with the PBRs right now. Because I don't have anything. I don't have any I don't have any Baileys, right? It's Baileys, Kahlua, and vodka and milk. I have milk. I don't have any. I don't have any of the cool. I usually just mix it with chocolate milk and do a black Russian rather than doing a white Russian or an Irish coffee. It's Bailey's coffee and milk. Do you use milk in that? Because I've had the frozen Irish coffees. There's a place down here called Molly's. It was like well known for their Irish frozen Irish coffees. Yeah, yeah. I can't deal with Irish coffee like warm. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like warm, like unless I'm sick and I want a hot toddy. Whiskey, milk, coffee. Okay, whiskey, coffee, milk. Okay. Yeah, is that the base for it? It's whiskey? Yeah, I guess it is. Now I'm tasting the flavor in my head. But I like the cold. It's a frozen one. Quite fantastic. What's everybody else doing? What's happening here? You guys want to what do you guys want to talk about? What are you doing? You want to talk about how to be entertaining? How to like can you go on a date? Like how I don't know the last time anybody here has been on a date. How unnerving is that? You gotta meet somebody new and you gotta impress them somehow. How to engage with people. I'm sorry about that. Even though I don't know how to do it at all, apparently. I'm not good at that. Well, I'm slightly kidding. I think the main thing is to be interested. See, some people though, the dilemma with being interested, the dilemma with that is some people don't like talking so much. You have to, you know, some people. I don't like when people like are too talky and questiony. I like to hear people's stories. I don't mind funny, goofy questions, but like when people, it's like an interview process. I hate that shit. Some people like that though. Some people need to be prompted to talk. So you say, hey, how's your day been? So good. So when I say how's your day been, yeah, I'm basically saying, well, what did you do today? Without saying what did you do today. It gives you a little open endedness. But being interested helps you to be interesting. I think that's how that works. The more the more interested you are in things, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more apt you are to interact with in any kind of environment. It's called like me and Zig were talking about this the other day. The word responsibility. Most people say the word responsibility, and immediately what comes to mind is, oh, this struggle, the damn. I gotta, man. I have responsibility right now. I gotta go. Oh. No, 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 no. That's not what it's supposed to be. Responsibility is the ability to respond to something. Wouldn't you rather have the capacity to respond to something? A responsibility is only the capacity to interact and have knowledge of something. But most people, they again, they have a negative view of that because once it's like being an underachiever, right? If you're really good at something, people are going to expect you to always do that. And it's like, damn, that's so much to do all the time. So people like do the Bart Simpson thing, you know, like just glide along, get C's, and just be good enough, just good enough to get by. So like that way, people can have the expectations that you're going to uh, solve for all of their queries. If you're more knowledgeable or stronger, or they'll expect, oh well, and then that's a lot of like, there's so many things to do here. How can I accomplish it all right now? It's not possible. It's like I've said before. I prefer not having a huge channel. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to interact with you guys. I wouldn't be able to interact with everyone else. It's like whenever you try and hang out with more than a few people, it's like a whole. It's a whole thing. Can't really. What's up, Rebecca? You say your dog is Skull. What do you mean? Your dog is going crazy? Local birch on heart. I don't know what that means. What did it like? To like eat some birch tree, and it causes some sort of reaction? It's so funny. Whenever I see a dog, the dog will immediately start whiling out. Like its tail will just start going, and the dog will freak out. Like it's pretty intense. Some people, because their dogs are like them, they don't, they're put off, by energy. And but no, most dogs they feel and they know energy, and it's almost like I'm playing with this dog, and I look at the dog like I'm playing with you, and I won't say it, I'll think it, and the dog will know. And I'm like, how did you know that? Are you reading my mind, puppy? Oh, I got you. Little birch on heart, little bitch on heat. Okay, I got you. I assume that's what you meant to type. Okay. I don't know. That's some other language that I'm not familiar with. Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah. And also, I wonder. Okay, so back to the beginning of what I was saying about having this on my two channels right now. Most people don't know that I'm using my other channel so much. Well, Zen Alchemist. They think I'm on Zen Atman. So I opened that up. So how many people does it say is in the room on whoever's in here from Zen Atman channel? That's my main channel. How many does it say over there? Okay, I hear you. Okay, so it's not changing anything for me unless no one is here anymore from the other channel. I'll see how that works out. Rebecca Cheryl said, "I imagine with a huge channel, one can't be as genuine." Yeah, because I mean, you can't because then you'd lose an awful lot of. Um, like if I say the wrong thing to somebody, like I might piss them off. So what? I mean, what's that to me? But if I had a bigger channel, that might piss off 20 people. Like, oh man. And then that can't be good. That can't possibly be good for my ego. my, but yeah, and or get caught up in the high of it. That would I don't know. Yeah, I guess I've seen some people their channels have gotten bigger and they get a little bit lost in the sauce, as it were. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, Griff. Okay, that's right. You can't see what I can see. I was just making sure. I was just seeing how the chat works. On my side, the chat function is everybody, but I didn't know what the number would be. So I'll see after the show how many people showed up on my back end there. But yeah, they lose a little bit of their vision and their heart. Yeah, I suppose that they lose their. Think about comedians. I use comedians as a reference. Like you get to a point of being so popular that you don't want to say you can't quite say exactly what you want to say because you have sponsorships and this and that, and you risk getting canceled or say that's the word these days. Well, you're not really getting canceled. You just risk saying something that before you might have said, and then you have a bigger audience. You say I can't say that because they're not going to understand fully what I'm saying. You know, you can't quite make the same kind of jokes. You can't say the same type of things because you're like, wow, you're getting used to this many subs and making this much money and have this many sponsors, and if You say something that goes, if you're not, towing the line a little more than you used to. Okay, maybe don't live beyond your means then. Yeah, that you go. Somebody says handlers. That's always the in the sense like people have those in the past. Now what you would consider that is who's who's sponsoring you, who's paying. When people are on big channels, you're on TV, whatever. There was definitely they grew up in Hollywood. There were handlers. There were people. They might not have known it, but it was the people that were navigating their trajectory of their career and getting paid off it too. Management like that. Now, with smaller channels and people that don't have management or whatever, they're relying on their income from growing their channel, growing their business, and how much of an influencer are they? And as long as they're influencing, they don't care if it's good or bad. If it's bigger numbers, that's good influence. If their numbers go down, they go, oh, wah. But they don't have handlers. They just have their sponsors, and then depending on how big the channel is, like in that way, it's their hand. How many how many sponsors are most people once they get a big enough channel? What are they willing to lose to actually say what they mean and mean what they say? Like they always have. Somebody's like, I'll pay here. I'll pay you what you're worth. So I'm making $369 trillion. But no, being honest, if somebody offered me, you know, 200K for a year of my time to do what I'm doing, but don't don't go that way and say that. I don't know. I don't know. But if it was 200K up front, just do whatever I want, and then the next year, it's like, well, you can lose part of the sponsorship unless you don't say this. That's how they reel you in. Do what you want. We'll pay you this much, and then the next year, here we'll give you a bigger contract, or remove half of it if you say something we don't want you to say. Something goes against the uh, like what I mean, what kind of things could I sponsor that I would believe in, that I would let sponsor me, right? I'm saying, like, what would I go if McDonald's is like, hey, have a sponsor? Like, what's the catch here? Your food is garbage. It's not food. Like, you're poisoning people. Obviously, anybody associated with McDonald's are not going to sponsor anything I do because I'm going to tell people don't eat that garbage. And then I'll go and then I'll sit down and I'll eat a 20-piece nuggie and drink some cola and have a Big Mac and still say, like, it's garbage. I know better. There's drugs in that food. That's poison. Oh, you want that cider now? Uh-huh. So you got the upgrades, man. You got the good stuff. I'm just drinking the canned Pabst. 2022 year of the Soylent Green. Um, is that the movie? Is that really what year it was occurring? Because I never seen the movie. I get the premise. It's obvious. I've seen the previews and yes. Um, but I never. But it cost money to watch the film somewhere. I just didn't go to download it from anywhere. And I think I get the premise. And I mean, even as so, we do you really care? If you're willing to eat bacon, what's the difference? If you're willing to kill a cow, like I was watching a show, and they were slaughtering goats, and I was like, man, that's tough. I had trouble watching it, and but will I order goat meat? Yes. Do I not recall and associate and have you know? Certainly I do. Could I with my bare hands and go through that? Probably not. But if if I was doing some real magical arts or whatever, and that's part of the process, maybe. But I mean, what? Southern green, so what? Eat it. Eat a dead body. Dead body's a dead body. Eat it. Other natural flavors. Ah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the way they break it down to play with the language is that could mean a million different things. What is a natural flavor? Because they use the word flavor means 10 different things. Natural doesn't necessarily mean that could mean monosodium glutamate. I'm pretty sure other natural flavor could mean monosodium glutamate, which is that unnatural? And how do they define this? See, it's all in the way they define words and define a collection of words. And so this is the habit that they reframe language. Carlin already did this whole thing. It's like they would go from using simple, straightforward, direct, correct language, and then adjust it so it sounds more. It's like if you were in a business meeting in the 1990s and you were marketing something and you're trying to motivate your team, you're doing team building, exercises, you would say certain NLP words, neuro linguistic programming. You program people to here's let me use these words to motivate you to do something, and it makes sense, and it's good, bad, and different, whatever. It's just a way of programming an idea. And then if you were to go there in the 2000s, it was the same idea, but they used different language. Then if you were there in 2005, 2010, 2015, every single every couple years, the same book every year the same book is written by 10 different people using different language. All they do is change one word to something else and it means the same thing. It's like saying different. You could use the Indian words for the chakras. You could say chi and mean prana. You could say prana and mean ether. You could say ether. See, now what did I say different? Nothing. Just different languages. So they're just programming languages using different words. And but what's the meaning? Just change the meaning, change the word. Santa, what'd you say? Eating spem in food? I'm assuming you meant eating sperm. I'm guessing, but I can't really tell. Spam? What up, F10? What are ions? Oh, because I did questions like ions, and you have positive and negative ions. So like if a waterfall hits the rocks made of a certain material, say it's limestone, it will produce a negative ionic effect, which cleans the air. It collects all the positive, it binds to all the positive ions, and then brings it back to Earth. It cleans the air. So that way, when you breathe something in, you're actually breathing fresh air with no negative or positive charge to it. It's. I mean, negative charge would be a more appropriate word for that. Energized air, but you say it's negative. Oh no, but it's meaning it's collecting and binding to something and getting rid of all of the dirt out of there. So you're breathing what you should be breathing. So if you ever go next to a waterfall, you're happier because you're bringing in um, a different type of energy. So ions are just positive, negative ions are basically look that up. The science version will explain it better than I could. Oh, in that sense, that probably ISO is International Standards Organization. ION would be, yeah. I mean, it's a common end of a word. You put ION on anything. It's usually TION, but it's on the end of it. What does it mean? Basically, adds movement to something. I'm trying. I haven't really thought about that in a while. or how what that would connect to an ambulance. Okay, so Suntoke 2022 is when that was based. Well, maybe that's part of the unveiling. They say the revealing. It's the unveiling, not the revealing. So we do it again. The unveiling to pull the curtain away from what's going on in the realm. Yeah, interesting. So, and more people are becoming aware what's going on in the food supply, the water supply, the whole thing. That's why I stick to drinking as much what I know it's a can of beer. It's about the cleanest. It's cleaner than this in the sink water. Definitely not. Liquor shops closed for the night in Scotland. Well, it looks like you got to get your liquor in the morning now. Liquor in the morning. That would fix it. That would fix a lot of relationships. For all you guys out there, if you're having trouble with your girlfriend, liquor in the morning. Yeah, Griff, I hear you. The distilled water. Yeah, yeah, you can. And it's like almost it's like a type of superpower. Like how much nonsense will you deal with? Once you're pretty clean, in one sense you don't want to deal with more because you are cleaner. So like you're a little more sensitive to something that's not right. So your body is like hyper aware, but you can deal with more because there's more room for you. Like, oh, I've dealt with dumber shit than this. I've eaten stupider things. I've listened to dumber people. I hear you, Suntoke. Interesting. So you're eating contaminated bodies. Is that a bigger part of it? Contaminated bodies? Yeah. So I mean that would be the main reason to, try to get off the food from the inside of the store. Anything comes in a some processed cans like it's a that's all up for who knows what that is. At least you can kind of verify what's on the outside of the store. That looks like an apple. It's an apple. I don't, what's going on there. It's organic, inorganic. I don't know. Is that watermelon got seeds? Maybe, maybe not. Is that a piece of bacon? Yeah, that's a piece of bacon. It's on the outside of the store. It's that's chicken. I get it. But once you get in the package process in the middle aisles, it's in. Go. I don't really. Could be. It might not be. It's got a name to it. If it's got a name to it and a company logo, you're taking your chances. Natural and artificial. Just to let you know. Yes, go enjoy that. Yeah, F10. You have to look on that one. What's up, Con? What you been doing, dude? I haven't talked to you in a bit, dude. How you been? Hey, Rebecca. Disagree with what part? The food items? Which part? Which part are you talking about? Like the other day, so I was talking to a couple of people. I was like, um, oh, you know who it was? It was I was talking to somebody that I know pretty well. I was talking about salt, and I was like, you can disagree with me all you want, but but the fact of the matter, the reality is that salt is poison. That's the reality of it. Like, you think you're disagreeing with me. I just happen to be saying it. I can't say something else. I'm not. What am I gonna tell you? What am I gonna tell you? Go eat a bunch of salt. I know that can't. I know that's not true. But I tell you to go eat McDonald's and Burger King and all that stuff. No, I mean you should already know. At least the salt thing. It's debatable because people are still confused. It's not really much of a debate. It's a debate for people that will refuse to look into the entire scope of what it is and accept that monkeys and lions and tigers and all of these animals, they're not searching salt out. And for people that say deers and certain animals go look for salt licks, no, they're not. That's how hunters get them because it causes you to be addicted to it. Salt is an addiction. Usually people get addicted to poisons. No one's addicted to grapes. They're great, but you could also eat some other food. Because it doesn't have the poisonous salt in it. Does it have salt in it? Yes, but the salt is of a different variety. We have different names for it. Oh, thank you. It's just some old stuff I put on in the morning. Yeah, what am I doing wearing white? I am not. Am I white hatting today? Is that what's going on? I'll put my black hat on and just switch it up for a second. Oh, oh, the morning drinks. Oh yeah, yeah, whatever. The best people I know in the world all drink during the day, without question. It's not even debatable. I heard this question earlier. What's the there's a lot of good answers to this. But what's the one thing you can do that if you're poor, it is completely frowned upon, and you're called trash. It's trashy if you're poor, but if you're rich, it's kind of like expected, and you're not looked down upon for doing it. Drinking. If you day drink and you're poor, you're a piece of shit. If you day drink and you're rich, of course you should. It's a two martini lunch. What do you think? What do you think all the most successful business leaders in the world? Watch all the '60s and '70s. They're all in the office. They got the drink in the office, and I mean, what's going on here? Happy, successful people tend to have a drink during the day. I ain't saying to drink all day. Don't drink like I do. I'm just saying. Is there is there is there a level of alcohol that can be in a drink or zero? How about you can't have sugar because sugar turns into alcohol. If you put sugar in your body will process that into sugar, or it will process that into alcohol. Look it up. It'll happen. It'll in your gut. It'll ferment. You produce alcohol. Little amounts, but there's alcohol in it, so you can't eat sugar during the day either. Don't do that. Yeah, I'm saying, worrying about tomorrow. Yeah, who said it best? Tomorrow never comes. It'll never happen. Never happen. Never be here. Wild alchemical spirit. Black spider monkeys in Amazon eat salt. Yeah, okay. I mean, sure, there can be exceptions to the rule, without question, but they can't survive on it. If they eat solely salt, salt will uh, what it does with water and what it does to your kidneys. It's a dehydrator. It will kill you. And here's proof of the claim. Proof of it. 100% proof. Go out into the ocean. Salt water. Drink that water. Keep drinking that. Tell me when your kidney seize up and you die. It's a fact. You can't just do that. You can't drink that much of it, and that's not even a lot of salt in there. What's how much salt's in that? 3.5%? Maybe not even that much. Salt is poisonous. Period. I don't care who's doing it. Just because some people eat it. I eat salt on things, but I also know it dehydrates me, and I know a large amount of it will kill me. Just like if I did a bunch of cocaine, it's another salt. It's sodium based. Just like so many things that are salt based, inorganic salts that'll kill you. It's not a great idea. Small amounts of salt can make things a little tastier. There's a little bit of, whatever. But to say that it in any quantity that is anything but unhealthy, like anybody knows Pepsi or Coca-Cola, not a great idea to drink it, right? But there is a really good way to cleanse your gallbladder with the Coca-Cola and olive oil. So look it up, Coca-Cola liver flush, because there's some chemical in there that will help alleviate that. But as a totality on the body, you don't want to drink you don't want to drink 10 of those a day. You become diabetic and rely on the processed sugars, not the real sugars. There's no real sugar in there, and there's probably an amount of sodium in it too, huh? Dave, being sober stinks sometimes. Yeah, I don't mind it. Sometimes it does, but being drunk sometimes sucks. Like sometimes I'm like spent on drinking. I'm just like done, and people are like, "Oh, come on, another drink. Let's hang out." I'm just like, "Oh, fine. I'll party with you guys." And sometimes, being sober, I'm just like, "All right, enough of this. Let's have a drink." It works either way for me. Other people, I don't know. Yeah, there we go, Taro. Sometimes, yeah, rich and we know it. Sometimes people don't get why one doesn't have to continually hate on yourself and validate yourself before you're giving yourself permission. Yeah, self permission to live, self permission to do anything. Self permission is that's yours to give you. This is your thing. You know, the search for outside validation for anything that you do will kill you. It will kill you every single time. Not only just parts of you, but like the good parts. Like some things that I do that I think are cool and fun and I enjoy, other people frown upon. And if I listened to them, I wouldn't do them, and my life would be miserable. And in the other way, if I validate myself in the opposite direction and say, well, they're having fun doing that, so I should be having fun doing that. Yet it doesn't speak to me, but I do it anyways. That will kill me too. So I can't rely on someone else's, fuck another man's opinion. There are assholes out there everywhere. Like, why should so? I don't validate anyone else's existence. I don't judge people. You're gonna validate my existence? Judge me? You can't. You're not capable of doing such. And so you can only enjoy what you enjoy and like what you like. There's no fixing that. Uh, Suntok, you no longer get hangovers since cutting out the salt. Thank you. Plenty of people have talked to me. We've talked about this. When you put salt on the rim of your drink, it makes you more thirsty because it's dehydrating you. When you eat salty peanuts, they put the peanuts out in the bar. It's to make you more thirsty because the salt is dehydrating you. And that dehydration is the number one source of a hangover when there's not enough water in your system. They say the alcohol is doing it. Well, yes, if you're not getting enough water with the alcohol is a cleansative, but if you're also adding salt, the salt is going to dehydrate you. So between the dehydrating effects of large amounts of alcohol, as long as you balance it out with water, so like beer, what's that going to do? it's 4% alcohol. For the rest of it's water. No salt in here, as far as I know. As soon as I take salt in, oh, you'll have the worst hangover. Dehydration causes headaches. Headaches are hangovers. Uh-huh. Yeah, sugar bothers you. Yeah, sugar doesn't bother me that much with alcohol, but I also know. Here's the thing: is at the end of the night, though, the key to not getting a hangover, oddly enough, is honey. Honey will fix a hangover because there's a I forget the exact process, but it has something to do with your glucose levels in your body that you've removed from whatever. Usually, it's not just the drinking, but it's the salt intake and which is dehydrates you, and then the stupid food that you eat that is no good for you, that's sucking water out of you, and then the sugar helps replenish the glycogen or the glucose in your body, and something that's going on in your brain too. And I don't remember what the process is. So if you look it up, a tablespoon of honey will fix a hangover. Uh, Griff said, "What do you think about coffee? Coffee is a bean. Coffee is a great product. What have we done to it? We've adulterated it. We've abused it. We've put chemicals all over it. We've processed it in a way that is not good for human consumption. And then we put sugar in it that's been bleached, and then we light roast it. It's got extra caffeine, and then we put milk in it that's been pasteurized. We're ruining it. If we process the coffee bean the right way, and then use unpasteurized milk if you like milk, and put a little sweetener in it without the bleach. Oh, there's no reason not to have um there's no reason not to consume coffee. It's a bean. It grows. It's for you to use. Pink Himalayan. Um, Rebecca, I would do a little more research on that. Most of what you're finding, first of all, I'll use this simple argument: you don't live in the Himalayas, so don't use the salt. Secondly, people have done chemical analysis on it, and the amount of fluoride and other chemicals that you should not put in your body are in that. It's way more dehydrating. So what you're getting is pink Himalayan salt. Even if the Himalayan salt was somewhat good, what you're getting is you don't know what you're getting. It could be, and it could be just about anything. And again, as to me, the most important thing is it in your local environment? If you don't live in the Himalayas, I don't see the purpose of it. 100 years ago, ain't no planes flying around to go to the Himalayas to get your rock salt from there. You're not getting your Celtic salt. You're not getting your Himalayan salt. So what's around you? Depending on where you live, you might not have salt. There's no animal that is. There's no animal. Pay attention to this. There's no animal that's out there seeking salt water or salt. They're seeking fresh water. They know where the ponds are and the streams with the fresh water. That's what they look for. Their intelligence says, I need water. Their intelligence does not say, go find salt. So I've read quite a bit on pink Himalaya being not, in fact, maybe the worst of the salts. Yeah, the hydration packets use straight up iodized salts. Yeah, well, there's a thing that also that happens is salt can cause bloating. So there is a small reason to use a little bit of salt for certain things. But I don't want to get into that entire talk because I've done so many videos on the whole the salt crimes, the history of the moon, the salt Saturn matrix, and even broken down the good purposes of salt, but it's the reasons for it and when and why to use it are quite minimal. Wild alchemical spirit. Ooh, gonna have to disagree on this one too. Did you remember watching? Do you remember watching Idiocracy? What do plants crave? Like, do you even know what electrolyte is really? Electromagnetic beings, yes, but why is it I've consumed distilled water, distilled for 20 years. I'm not putting salt in it. Why am I not dead? And if you're at Burning Man and you're drinking gallons of water, what kind of water? What else are you consuming? Any drugs? Any food? Are you just in the hot sun? And to say you need electrolytes because you're electromagnetic, it's another long one. I'll address all these again. I'll just release I'll release the hounds on them. I'll just put the whole series of all the salt things for you guys. Um, but the salt, you are the salt of the earth. It doesn't say to consume salt. The salt is just consume your piss. You don't have enough. You don't feel hydrated from water. You sure you're not dehydrated from dancing and doing drugs, or maybe no, you don't do drugs. I don't know. Maybe just dancing, now you're dehydrated, and despite drinking all that water, what else did you do? There's a lot of other factors that go into that than just saying salt. You need salt because you're an electromagnetic being. I think I've survived pretty okay without putting any salt. And in fact, I can make claim to the opposite for myself. I used to take the cell salts, and when I did, I had bumps on my knuckles. I was getting arthritis. I was getting bumps on my knuckles as soon as I started taking those because it's salt deposit buildups. It's inorganic. Get your salt from juice. There's salt in juices. It's just in organic variety. So electromagnetic. There's a couple videos I just watched recently, and there's a difference between types of salt. So there's more to the story than just that. Yeah, like what you like. I mean, use salt sparingly, but I don't think that's a reason. Hey, peace out, Khan. Oh, nice, man. Making money for the honey, boy. Good stuff, Khan. Good to talk to you, man. Uh, I haven't had a hangover in 20 years, and I drink as much as anybody. I like that though. I've had worse. I've had worse hangovers from smoking weed. What's that about? I've had hangovers from salt. I've had headaches and hangovers from over consuming fried food. There is again a connection. You cannot isolate drinking when I know for a fucking fact people that drink too much, 99% of them have a shit diet. And that they're gonna go out drinking, and afterwards they're gonna eat fried foods and pizza and this and that and the next thing, eat the McDonald's, and then they're gonna have a hangover in the morning and blame the alcohol. No, it's the fucking shitty diet you have. It's all the garbage you ate. That's a fact. It's not the alcohol. Yeah, obviously, if you just down a bottle of Everclear and whatever, you're not going to be doing too good. That's going to dehydrate you because that's quite a quantity of alcohol. But I guarantee it's the salt. I've I've written papers on it. I've done the research. I put 20 years of understanding what this is, and I can vehemently say again, what's worse than a hangover? Death. And dehydration is on your way to death. And I'll drink my beers. We'll go out to the ocean, and I'll drink my beers, and you'll drink the ocean water. We'll see how long I last and how long you last. You just got to bring me enough beers to outlast you, which will be you'll probably need 3 days before you're dead. So give me 36 beers. I'll be fine. You drink the salt water. I'll drink these. I'll have no hangover. You'll get dehydrated in about a day. You'll be extra dehydrated on day two. Your kidneys will shut down on day three, and you'll be dead. Thus, it's the salt, not this, not this. This is not the poison. Everything's backwards. I'm fooling you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Himalayan salt lamp. Yeah, it's supposed to be used outside the body. Talk about ions and the electromagnetics of it and the discharge of things on the lamps and in the ocean when you swim in the ocean. uh, your plants like Himalayan salt and She Legit water. I could see how they like She Legit and piss. Yeah, yeah. See a salt, you salty bitch. That's what I'm saying. I mean, pick your poison. Everyone's gonna have poisonous things they consume. Enjoy your life. You know, you're not gonna live the perfect life where you don't consume anything and you sit there in meditation and just only consume prana. But as long as you're aware and make whatever choice you like. But is it know why it's happening? Oh, you got bloated. There you go. It's gonna hold on to water weight before it starts robbing the cells of yeah. Yeah. Well, you said you don't want to drink the PP, Zen. Don't drink it then. you just you don't forget the fact that you were consuming urine for the first 9 months in the womb. That's how cells grow. Oh yeah, yeah. There are again in small quantities because it's in the soil. It's in the soil. Let me explain this to you as quickly as possible. It's not eating the salt; it's deionizing it. So there's a discharge of electromagnetic energy. The charge from the salt that's in the soil. It's the same way if you take steel and drag it through the ground, it's stealing ions from the soil. Where if I take copper and I use copper tools, it will actually make the soil quality healthier and plants will grow bigger. So the plant itself is not eating the salt. It's not eating the soil. It's not eating anything in there. It's discharging the it's discharging ions from it basically. So the salt is doing something, but it's not eating it. It's not becoming the plant, just like the dirt is not becoming the plant. Uh, yeah, yeah, boy. Yeah, cocaine's for certain people. Not my bag of tea. Yeah, Suntoke, that's well, what do you think? Google's gonna tell you the truth? Of course it's gonna say that. That's why you gotta research a little further than the first page of Google says. Well, if that's what Google says on the first page, then you know it to be an absolute lie. And just go to look up salt crimes, and then it should take you to Andrew Norton Weber's site, and then somebody that took the whole page that he had on there and put it on their page, and it breaks down the and all the doctors that talk about it through all the ages. And the farther you go back, the more doctors were like clean distilled water. That's where it's at. They didn't take salt in. Native American, the Indian people that lived here, there was no salt in their diet. Zero. Hey, why the alchemical spirit? I mean, again, you can argue with me all you want, but the fact of the matter is these giant Native American Indians, they didn't have salt in their diet. These giant animals, they don't. There's also a matter of what else are you consuming. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with this idea because it's fine. They use a little bit of salt, but you can get it from not inorganic varieties. Drink juice. Just use juice. There's sodium in there. There's a difference between the chemical what you'd call an inorganic. If you looked up the chemistry terms of organic versus inorganic, it doesn't mean that one was made with this on the earth and one was, there was no fertilizer. It was just as no. Organic and inorganic compounds mean there's a carbon bond and it's usable. So use the salt from the food. Let the food be the medicine and the medicine be your food. Salt is not part of that thing. Just as simple as that. Yeah, why do you think that happens? Because your body is trying to get it out of you. Drink see, it says, but how much? See, here, go further, Santok. It says you can use salt to cleanse the colon. Drink a large glass of salt water and stay near the toilet. Yeah, because your body wants it out of you. But do you know it has to be the same, what you'd call specific gravity of the blood? That you can't put. You have to have the right amount in there, or else it will cause a lot of chaos. But again, okay, keep doing that. Continually drinking glasses of water. See what happens. Yeah, most food provides enough salt for survival. Yes, that's the answer. Your food will have enough salts that you need in the right form, and the salt beyond that is, if for some reason you can't find food that has the sodium content that we think we require. And again, one is inorganic and the other is organic, and one's going to process through the body in a different way. What's up, Black Sun? Yeah, that's a whole nother lesson on the plants and the ionization and how I mean that goes into the Immortal Cell by George Carey and a couple other people. They wrote about this. But there is no interchange of anything but of energy. There's a discharge of energy. A cell is not giving something to another cell except for trading in an energetic charge. They're just changing that. So the states of matter are changing, not because it's not like if I in this cup have coffee and then I pour beer in it. That's not how the cells work. It's not working that way. It's basically saying, if I clink this together, then this is getting energized by what's in here, and vice versa. So this will actually turn into something else. It's not. These things are not necessarily physically interacting. Suntoke. That's hilarious. Yeah, I think we were talking about that the other day. Maybe not me and you. Maybe I forget who it was, but it's like some people that have ADHD or certain types of chemical imbalances in their brain that uppers will be downers for them, and downers will be uppers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Black Sun. I hear you on that. Look something up. First page at Google. There it is. Yeah, yeah, yep. That's going to give you the right answer. Wild alchemical spirit. I'm just gonna. We'll just. I don't. This is getting too long-winded of a conversation. It depends on whose books you're reading. That's really what it is. It depends on what sources you're going by. Because the amount of salt, it's when I first got into this, and everything that I read and was paying attention to was first page of Google type shit. There was salt in their diet, and this is what worked. And the further I got into researching it, the more and more I was finding seemingly legitimate sources of information that resonated on other levels too. They were saying that the Native Americans were not consuming salt, and anytime that they use salt, here's what they use salt for. And this is the last thing I want to do on salt right now. They were using salt to cure something, right? So to dry meat out or something, and then when they wanted to use it, they would clean it. They would in fresh water. They would clean that out. They would get all the salt off it. It was just so it didn't go bad. The salt was causing it to dehydrate it, and then so they would get the salt out and rehydrate it with water so that they could eat it and cook it. They removed the salt. They were not eating the salt. They traded salt. Yes, there's salt. The ocean foods that they were eating, like the fish, okay, but that's still, that's not salt from the earth. The salt that they were trading for was to whenever they would, maybe if it was elk or moose or whatever they were eating, they would use that to cure the meat, but they would wash it off completely first. You study archaeology? So do I, and as well. But I don't not mainstream, not anymore. How about anthropology? Again, I don't know what part. There's a delay over here, but they were using it. They weren't consuming it. And again, because I know you're really trying to push this point that salt is important, and I've already made very simple claims that are verifiable, that go out into the ocean and drink the ocean water and you will die, and that animals, for the majority, are not going out looking for salt. It's not part of their dietary habits or routine. And there are too many people that have removed salt from their countertop, and they're not buying salt from anywhere. And the salt that they're getting from whatever fruitarians, they're not eating salt. These vegetarians, they're not eating salt. Even people that are into whatever diet you're into, there's a lot of people that have removed salt from the diet and they're healthier for it. And there's hundreds and hundreds of papers on this. But you know why the first page of Google and anything you look up now, who's pushing it? Who's pushing people to use salt? The pharmaceutical industries, because they know it's a poison. Because they know you need to come to them to fix the problem. They're not going to tell you the solution. Remove salt from your diet and you'll be healthier. Using salt, not consuming it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've made it pretty clear. The nuance is they were using it, not consuming it. And I've told you what they were using it for. And I've told you other cultures don't use it. I've told you animals don't use it. There's a small percentage of people that are addicted to cocaine, salts, all these sodium things. And it's all, when did it start getting pushed? And who gave you that material? The material that is even pushed by, when you, like, who do you think is giving you the narrative of our history? When we know, if you don't already know, there's a huge false history. Right before about 1880, anything, you can't trust anything before that, and even up to and including like what's been going on. Like, what about the last reset? Where did these big buildings come from? What was going on? Where were these stories coming from? Who's writing these books? Who owns these giant these museums? The Smithsonian, the Smithsonians. Who do you think's pushing that narrative? Who do you think they're part of? Who do you think owns, like, who do you think took over? Johns Hopkins used to be an herbologist and pushed the ideas of basically being part of nature and collecting, that's homeopathy, all of that, right? And then they took his name and made it a pharmaceutical establishment along with the Rockefellers and everything like that. So it's like the system is pushing the narrative. So I don't and don't worry about it. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you that what you're saying here is goes against verifiable reality, which is, again, I'll consume beer, you consume salt. We'll see how that works. It's 100% every time. Were you going to drink clean water or salt water? It's not. It's not really a. It's really. It's one or the other, and it's going to work every time. Not the favor of what I'm saying, because it has nothing to do with me. Of just what the fact of the matter is. Yep, I tried the saltwater cleanse too. It made me vomit. It made me shit. It made me shit everywhere. I puked, and yep, all of that made my heart race. It was terrible. Black Sun. The saltwater cleanse is awful. The sodium in raw beef is different from rock salt. It is, because it's already been processed through the system. It's part of the body of the animal. The plasma and the sodium in there, just like the sodium in a plant is organic versus the sodium in the earth is inorganic. Yes, 100%. The sodium in 100%, Griff. Desalination, a rinse cycle. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, I don't care that you learned from the tribe or not. And then maybe they did. But as a totality, again, as a totality, this is not an argument. I've said my piece, and it makes 100% total fact. Just because a couple tribes and a couple people and a couple animals, the exceptions don't make the rule. The exceptions don't make the rule. And here and again, as I've already stated, I use salt here and there, but I already know what it does, because there's a you still have that slight addiction. But I did 40 days on distilled water. Why didn't I die? And afterwards, this taste of salt was disgusting. Putting a tiny bit of salt on something is not going to kill you, and it might improve what you think the flavor is. But again, it doesn't amount to qualifying salt as a needed source of energy, of anything. Get it from the food, get it from the plant life. It's just there's too many cultures, there's too many animals, there's too much information that is readily just in front of you, just because somebody told you. I mean, and I know people from most of these Indian tribes. They were overtaken by white people, and they interbred with the. So you don't even know whatever that tribe is. You don't even know if they're really natives, and you don't know you have their oral traditions. How far back are we dating that? Because there's a lot of tribes that I know, people that are like full on feather. They're melanated. Their hair is different, and they know their history, the lineage going way back. Through their grandparents and grandparents. And they also know that what the name of the original tribe was, not the re-given name, and all of the interbreeding with the Europeans that came. And so the secondary Europeans, maybe they use salt in their diet, and that's where that's coming from. Not the origination point. No way. I'll make one more proof for you, because this is not an argument. I'm just spitting facts here for you, right? A baby comes out the womb. When do you start jamming salt into its face? Exactly. You don't. You don't give baby salt. That'd be criminal, right? What does it consume? Milk from the mother. That's what it's eating. You don't give it meat either. What does it start eating? Fruits. Where's it getting its salt from? It's not. You don't give a baby salt. where are we losing the dialogue here, where what I'm saying doesn't make sense? Because what I'm saying makes 100% sense, and the argument is coming from little bits and pieces and pockets that people use salt, which I'm saying people do. I have salt in my house right now that I've used on things, but I also know that it's not a necessary supplement. It's not a needed thing. Wanted to quit his job with no coffee. Well, some people, there's quite an addiction quality to coffee. What's up? What's up, Gucci Gobbler? Is astral projection or spirit traveling necessary for spiritual evolution? I mean, if you're in a body, you are a spirit. I don't think so, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. It wouldn't hurt, and as you develop, anyways, uh, as you become more aware or conscious of anything that's going on, of spirit in general, you'll be able to dream and get out of body, actually project, have out of body experiences. It'll be tied in. It's not one doesn't like it could go in either direction. If you learn how to do it, it's because you're interested in spirituality and spirit realms. The other way would be like if you're more spiritual here, you'll just get into those other realms anyways. It's a two-way street. The true desires of drinking coffee. Yeah, Griff, ask me that. I mean, the coffee thing. I think there's just chemicals in it, and people have their once you have an addiction to something, it could be good for you. Some people have addictions that are good for them, but the fact that they're addicted to it makes it bad. You know, you ever if somebody paints all day or learns has an addiction, they have OCD and they paint all day or they play an instrument, we'd say that's great. But then they lose all of these social skills, they lose all this other part of their realm that their obsessive compulsive um, behavior. It might not be as bountiful for their exploration of consciousness in this realm as it would be if they didn't have an addiction to doing that, which then becomes obsessive compulsive. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn how to play instruments and be obsessive if that's what it is, but we'd say that's no good if someone's collecting cats. We'd say that's hoarding. But if somebody learns how to play music or really well, that's great. It's just what's serving you, and is it are you happy doing it? If it makes him happier to drink coffee, go drink some fucking coffee. And if he wants to put salt in it, go for it. Oh yeah, yeah. I do love. I haven't had much fish lately, and I do like sushi and yeah, wild Atlantic salmon. Hmm. Yeah, depleted soils cause ranchers to buy mineral salts for cattle husbandry because then the cattle become addicted to the salt. I'm assuming that would seem to be the thing. Hmm. Oh yeah, anybody here on the bottom? If you, I don't know what channel you're here from, but make sure to subscribe to the other one, Zen Alchemist and Zen Atman. That's my two channels. And also my Cash App and PayPal and Venmo are right there if you want to help a brother out because I'm entertaining or if you learn something. It's TSAR capital XEN. That's my PayPal and also my Cash App. My Venmo's on there too. And if you need help one-on-one, you can find my email, Theoluminous. It's on the little scrolly thing on the bottom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Black Sun. Most of these tribes don't even know of their own history anymore. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah, wild outcome of spirit. I hear you. I mean, you know me pretty well. You know how I talk. It's just what it is. It is what it is. How about that? How about that? The hive mind queen. Wild alchemical spirit. You don't add salt and you don't drink beer. Well, you got one of those things right. What's up, Skull? Yeah, Skull, I hear you on that. That's that's that thing. I just, you know, when someone really believes that, I'm like, you're not. I can't talk to you. Like, you're not trustworthy. It's I don't care. I don't care how people are convinced of it, because if that's what it takes, you know, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? Why waste my time? And if that's what they think, then imagine all the other dumb things they think. I don't think they could have a very quality view of the realm and anything on it if they still believe in that system of lies. Uh, Burp God over here. Homeostasis is a wonderful thing. The human body adapts to. Yeah, we even adapt to things that are really inconvenient for us. If we lurch over every day and we're on our keyboards, we'll continually doing that till we'll get a bend in our back because our body says, "Oh, that's how you want to be." Okay, it's kind of like if you want to get flexible, you start flexible, you get more flexible, and your body's like, "Okay, you want to be more flexible," and it becomes more flexible. But if you start sitting in one posture, one position, your body's like, "Okay, that's what it is. I can work with you." That's right. That's right. Homeostasis. Ha 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 ha. Black son, get that money, boy. Your grandma was half native, apparently. Yeah, you should be able to get that check. Get that check. Yep, it's in the food. It's in the food. Trailblazer. Oh no, no, she knows. Yeah, yeah. It's she knows. Oh, I don't think. Hey, wild alchemical friend. I don't think you're a salt pusher. I am. I like dealing with information that I can somehow verify and qualify. And the verifying and qualifying things that I know about that subject, I've put quite a bit of time into it. Oh, you're going back. Okay, that reproduction of the astral travel thing. Yeah, it's a that's the most important part. It's a two-way street. That if you want to develop and get into the astral realm, then just by that alone, you'll already be more spiritual because that's what you're focused on. So then you're trying to understand maybe astrology, maybe interactions with other life forms, and why are the trees like? Oh, why is it like this? And how does this work? And you become more spiritually aware, anyways. So, but then if you once you get out of body, then you're gonna know something, and then you're gonna look at reality different. It works in either direction, whether you're just interested in it or it'll happen organically just by being healthier, just by being aware here. You'll be aware in other realms. Photosynthesis of elements into plant life brings the sodium to the body through the plant. Yeah, through the plant. And the sodium gets transmuted. The quality of it. The It's like the difference between milk and pasteurized milk. Raw milk and pasteurized milk is the same as pasteurized milk is equivalent to sodium that you'd find in on the earth, in a mountain, in a rock, in the sea. That's pasteurized milk. Unpasteurized milk, which is coming through the mother, the the tit of the cow, that has been processed, and now it is raw, and it's in its perfect form, not heated up and destroyed. Is the same as, so it's gone through this process, and here it is. Here's this milk right from the mother. So right from the mother earth, the plant is taking that sodium and everything else in the earth and creating it through photosynthesis into the plant, and then we get it from the plant. Why would we eat the plant's food? And again, it's not eating it; it's transmuting it. Yeah, yeah. Drink a little plasma and see what condition you're in. Yeah, I drank some this morning, and wasn't a big fan of it because I ate hot chicken wings, French fries, hot sausage, po' boy. I ate a bunch of garbage, and when I tasted it, I was like, "Yeah, this is exactly what I did to myself." Black Sun. Notice how couples that are portrayed in media these days have to be either interracial or gay. Yep. It's taking what they're doing is they're taking what is supposed to be occurring inside our consciousness, inside our bodies, which is to marry together these ideas and become transfixed, trans everything, right? Transmuting these ideas. It's supposed to be going on inside of you. You're supposed to become a homogenization yourself. You're supposed to become the homunculus is supposed to be yourself. You're supposed to born that inside of yourself. You're supposed to take the balance. You're supposed to be more feminine because you're too masculine. And then if you're too masculine, there's that balance. So you find the women want to become men and men want to become women, and so they're doing it on the outside, out here, and it's not supposed to be happening out here. It's supposed to be happening in here. Yeah. Yeah. Your friend, yeah. Well, the crystal, yeah. See the crystal shop and the crystal thing. Yeah, they got confused. See, within the realm of magic, salt is supposed to be used in the magical arts as a protection around something. So if I were to if I don't want certain animals coming on my property, I put salt around there, right around my property, right there in the front door. If I want to put cast a magic spell, I put salt there. It's a barrier. It's not supposed to be put into the human system. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you really want to just flush the colon, consume diuretics. Like what foods are diuretic? Uh, Cucumbers, juicy fruits, melons. They'll at first be diuretic and clean out your colon, and then afterwards, then it will hydrate you. At first, it's going to become a diuretic towards you, especially some of the seeds, and that will clean you right out. You want to clean your kidneys out? Drink some cucumber and celery juice with maybe a little bit of lime. Clean you right out. Clean your colon out. Lemon juice, lime juice in the morning. I hear you on that. Santok, you said practicing yoga, Shibabu. Oh, I hear you. It's weird. I mean, I don't remember who said this, but if you're a dude and you don't wake up in the morning with a raging heart on, there's probably something wrong with you hormonally or in your pipes somehow. Yeah, some days when I start being very healthy, I'm just like, yeah, I get it. You could ground yourself out and do some practices and take that root chakra energy and run it through the spine, but only so much. You want to be kind of cycling that tantrum with someone. Some days I'm just like, I think I just want to sit home and like I'm like scrolling through my phone, like, okay, which one of these chicks do I got to bring over today? I'm gonna need your time for a few for a few hours. Mhm. Oh, deep squats. Yeah, that will open up your that will open up your yep, it'll put your spine back in order for sure. Yeah. Yeah. When you're a dude and you're emotional, people look at you like you're crazy. Like you can't do that. Certainly can. Like and it's like when a woman is fierce or strong and they take it in the wrong way, or when a man, it's the same thing. It's like you can't go too far in any direction. If you can't have a woman wanting to go MMA, that's insane. And you can't have a dude that's just sitting there going, oh, all day long. Like you gotta, there's a balance to those things. And most men are man, woman, oh, passive, oh, aggressive. Dude, you gotta balance those things out. But see, then once men start to become emotional, they find themselves, and then they keep going that way with it, and they become like the super gay, whatever that is. I don't mean gay and happy. I mean gay and gay. Like like oh, if I can find a commonality in another man. Women are too much like this. I can be emotional, and they go that direction. I've seen that happen. The only thing you're getting in pasteurized is organic vitamin D and trace amounts of calcium. Yeah, and the calcium is going to be thrown in there as inorganic, and that vitamin D. I mean, what can that be? Because I thought vitamin D was a hormone that you're getting from the sunshine. I know it can help, but societal influences and what's acceptable, individual willing to do their inner work. It's retardation in the sense. Energy coming out and distortion due to lack of. Yeah, I mean spirituality. It's a ritual of spiraling. And there's a burp for everybody. Spirit means breath, and spirit is also a ritual of spiral. Spiral spiritual. How to navigate your energies. Ready for these rocks? Yeah, natural foods are lacking the nutrients, or so it said. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, the only reason foods are lacking the nutrition is because they stole the ions with all of the steel that they're putting into the ground, and they're overburdening by putting the same plants in a row every year, and they have to switch the crops up and use different material, and then you wonder why the things aren't as sweet as they used to be. That's why they're not as um, if the sweeter it is, then obviously there's more something in there. We have all this stuff that doesn't taste as good as it should. It's still good, but it is depleted in the sense of, well, what do you think? You keep putting all this chemical fertilizer on it. What do you think's happening? There you go. Base. Here's another proof of that. Take a vitamin, plant it into the earth. See if anything grows. Take a seed, see if anything grows. I'm betting 100% of the time that vitamin pill, 100% of the time, crazy to say 100%, but it's not going to grow anything. And I'll bet you most of the time that seed will grow something. Ooh, black sun. Oh yeah, I'm hearing you on that, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that talk right now. But yeah, it's it's the whole. I mean, what's the comedians out there doing the jokes now? He's like, hey, I've been told I can't get a special because I'm a heterosexual white male. Like some of the funniest dudes, they make jokes like I'm going to meetings and they're like trying to sell my special. They're like, you're funny as shit, man, but you're not marketable because you're not bi, you're not a different color, you're not effeminate, you're not there you don't have any of the attributes. You're just a normal stupid white man, and that's not what they're pushing and selling these days. And so that's quite a bit. I mean, I don't notice it towards me because that's not how I that's not how I come across, but I see it happen. I've heard it, I've watched it, and obviously you can see it in the do enough do enough meming and researching on the Instagrams and the YouTubes and wherever else. But certainly, if you're not if you don't just act wildly like somehow whatever like being different is now being the same. So now the odd people are the ones that are actually just going, this is just what I am. Like, no, you're just trying to hold us back. Like, no, I'm just saying I'm not like, yeah, this is how I am. You do what you want to do. I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm not the one telling you what you can and can't do. In fact, the entire narrative being pushed is it's like when women put clothes on. Do you know how many gay men ran the entire fashion industry for all of your upbringings? What do you think was dressing you? Thinking you think another woman would be so silly to tell you to put high heels on? She would never want you to feel that pain of putting the ooh, that's just looks awful. Like they wouldn't want you dressing like little like sluts. I don't think they would. But they've been controlled by the narrative, and now the narrative changes to what? What's it now? Who's writing the script now? Definitely ain't whatever. What do they call them? Cis? Is that what they call them? CIS? White males? Uh, home non non-binary. So what? How the fuck? See, I do. What the fuck? I just me. I don't fucking know. I don't care what you do. You do you? Oh fuck. I ain't writing that, and I don't believe at any point in history that shit was really what people, especially in America, man. I mean, I've done that talk too many times, but you look at the dispersion of populations and how and where people live. I'm just saying, like, it's always this. Oh, we can't go into a white neighborhood because I'm like, but do you know how many people? White people can walk in a black neighborhood? Yeah, get out of here. See, that's it's a two-way thingy, funny thing, And now if there's enough a melting pot, now it's like everybody. You can't go. Did you ever see that video of the crazy chick? She was standing in the street corner and somebody was walking into a gay neighborhood. It's called the gayborhood or something. And she starts screaming at him, "You can't be in this neighborhood. You're not gay." I was like, "What is going on right now?" People have lost their noodles. Sunto, you have more feminine traits. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what mine are. I'm very emotional, but uh, I guess I'm kind of mad. I don't know how does that work. Got a transportation plan to Mars for those who cannot decide what gender they want it to be. That's awesome. Can I go to Mars and be a Martian, but a planet, a red planet of war? Yeah, Utah. Oh, yeah, I got to set this thing up different because it is starting to become. Oh, there we go. Troublesome to lean this way. As soon as I get a larger computer device here. Oh, hey, cool. Apparently I did not pay my phone bill. Hey, if anybody wants to, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. If I don't pay this phone bill, my phone will be turned off, and you guys won't get to talk to me until I do. And if you guys can't talk to me, I don't know where I'm making money at. So know that you guys can help me out to keep this thing on, keep this thing rolling. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, description box, TSAR, capital XEN. Um, wow, totally forgot about that. Cool. Just got that notice. Skull, lucky you. See that's. I was just watching Anthony Bourdain, and he was in one was in Morocco, and one was in where was the city? Hmm. It's basically like a lot of opium dens and hashish places and whatever. And they were just talking about it's like where all these great writers go, and they're just talking about the like the lifestyles of people that consume certain substances and like the types of cultures that are they allow for. What the I'm trying to think of the name of the place because it would make it more sense. It was somewhere where the dude wrote Naked Lunch. Stephen, I don't see Stephen Burrows. I'm screwing the story up, but anyways, it was a place that was like opium dens or whatever. I don't know where I was going with that story. Yeah, race war is stupid. Like, where are you racing to? Everyone is selling a story. That's right. Yeah, what's trending? Yeah, you know what's trendy is like it became popular to have more. I don't know, like just it's so weird the whole fad culture and pop culture, the fad culture, like the things that like are in season and fashionista today, tomorrow is not going to be, and then are those people going to change? So they're just gonna become the new version of what everybody else is telling them to become. It's a really strange thing. I mean, I was obviously, I think probably everybody here, when you're a kid, you kind of follow those things, unless you were blazing your own trail. Yeah, selling global followers. Yeah, I wish I had that in me to do it. That way I wouldn't have to ask you guys for help paying for things. Skin lamp shakers at Parsifal. What you doing? Yeah, every you see that everybody whenever they say race, it's always two, and it's not even they're not even races. They're just using colors, and there's so many more species, races, whatever, and you're totally just eliminate the idea that any other beings exist. because it's easier if you have two sides to the war. If you once you have more than two sides, then things start to get people can't figure it out in their brain. It's like you're on our team or their team. Well, what if I'm my team? Then we're gonna have to play Chinese checkers, and there's five teams. Now you're gonna have to see how you really stand. What if there was in every you know every in an election, if there really wasn't a two-party system, say there was five parties, legitimate parties, and you'd have to go to what actually was stood for, and you couldn't just flippity floppity. You couldn't just it's either here or there. You'd have to figure something out. Trailblazer, yeah, pay a homie, and now you scroungers, pay up, motherfuckers. Yeah, for real. I'm just telling you, if you want me to be on here, I've totally forgotten. I have to pay for my phone bill, and I got the text. You need to pay your bill, or your service will be interrupted. So you can help out. You think the mainland mass was split? You think that happened in the grand scheme of things 60 million years ago? Or did it happen really recently? I think it happened way more recently with flooding of something. The great deluge, the flood, and all this. I think that was way more recent. Like, and by way more recent, I mean a lot more. Like within a few, uh, you know, depending on who you ask. Was it the last reset, or was the last reset just the muddy floods? Because that would be 150 years ago. No, maybe a little more than 150. I mean, it didn't happen all at the same time everywhere. Plenty of other major upheavals of either humans or the system, the Mother Earth system itself, or like the last cultures. Enki and Enlil and whoever might have crossed hybrid people in laboratories and destroy the humans. They're worthless to us. Well, we made them. We should be responsible. There's those kind of resets. Yeah, but I did the landmass though. Considering I've been seeing so much done on undersea work recently, especially with all of the water levels going down in place and seeing the weird things that are being unearthed. But then these people looking into what's just underwater around Florida, around over here, around the Pacific coast, and they're seeing that, oh man, that's cobblestone. That's cobblestone down there, which means and there's a building right there. How did that building get there? They can't even explain it. There's a building sitting right there underwater in what would be considered the ocean or the sea, which means for that to be built there, the water level, the amount of water that would have had to come into this realm had to be huge. And what was the land mass? It would have looked totally different. It was especially interesting seeing the French rivers that are dried up. There's a huge bridge that goes across it. That now you can just walk underneath the bridge. It's like a giant. I don't know how many miles the bridge was. It's the last video I made. The front picture of it was the two. Was it the Rome? Another one? Yeah, crazy. The ruins is a baby lion. F10. Tripping up these. Yeah, yeah. The animus. The anima. There we go. Interesting stuff. Parzival. Divorce happens when you face and accept the image that he has manifest. All ties exist right now, so nobody's being forced, but the light is existence itself. That doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, everything does exist right now, but how far could we, like, how far can you jump to timelines? Like, I think we jumped the timeline with what just happened with the waters the waters in France and the Japanese government just basically saying, you know, that lion's getting portal, all that going up around the same day. And a bunch of other things happen too. So I think the collective the collective of people that are magical and aware and that kind of thing that we know about, we're going, okay, well, we're not dealing with this stupid world they're trying to produce. We're doing something else, and then we're manifesting that. So, like, either way, the system that is in place will have to become pulled apart. I mean, some places they could just install a new type of governmental system, which I mean, no matter where you look, you're going to have some type of governmental system. It just got out of control, too big and too connected to the corporatocracy. So government became corporatocracy. That needs to go. It's hard not to have a ton of anger stored up. Yeah. Is this is that better? Did you guys? Oh, you guys didn't miss too much. Yeah, Suntoke, you would be better off. Just be like, hold on. Yeah, just start dressing as absurd as possible. Yeah, might as well. Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta pee pee and grab a beer. Enjoy. Oh, I forgot to put the music on, but okay. Back in here. Sense of self has to get left behind. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's I always uh, equate it to dying every day. You have to get rid of parts of you that you don't like. Some things you'll keep, some things are more difficult, some things just aspects. You're not going to kill the ego, you're not getting rid of yourself. You can't get rid of yourself. That will never happen. You'll always be yourself, but there's aspects to yourself that aren't for your greater good or for the greater good of anything else. It doesn't integrate with a better system. But some people, they try to do it all at once, and that doesn't work either. They'll give them you know some people can, like, I can switch things up sometimes and just do like, oh, I guess I'm fasting. Oh, I guess we're just eating all day. I'm gonna um I'm gonna yeah, let's do something completely new. Some people can't do that. They have no idea. But to progress, you have to be aware of where you are. And most people have no idea where they are because they still think they're a spinning ball flying through outer space. um, oh man, what's up, Fire Drake? Is the audio working better? Hmm. Yeah, I was just seeing if I could. I was seeing if I could simulcast to both of them and see how that worked. See if anybody was over there that wanted to come over here, wanted to go over there, or whatever. Uh, both my channels. But as I remind you again, whoever's in the background, we can help a brother out. If you want to see either of my channels, I have to pay my phone bill, and if I can't pay my phone bill, you're not going to see me out here, which becomes a whole thing in and of itself. Because this is how I make money. And then if I go and do something else, I will not be getting back on here to do this because my time will be spent doing something else. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, oh, well, I do. Check it out, everybody. I do have. Hold on. Well, I have a. Oopsie. How do I do this? Oh, I do. I do have a. I do have a couple calls to make. I didn't see what time it was. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this 2 hours, and I will try to come back on here. And you guys know the rules. One is to enjoy yourself. It's your experience. Enjoy it. Manifest cool things. And if you manifest cool things and you have a lot of stuff, feel free to share it. If it's with me, that would be especially great right now, especially currency wise. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, TsarXen. It's in the description box. It's beneath the screen there too. And third, be weird. You know, enjoy yourself. I got a couple things to do, and then I'll try to be back on here hopefully this evening, as long as my phone is still on. Peace out, everybody, and have a beautiful day. Peace out.